Guess who made an art bot? I did. It was me. Check this out. That is my finished completed art bot. It looks beautiful, I know. I'm going to go ahead and take you through all the steps of how to make this beautiful, working, somewhat working item. But I'll go ahead and show you a sneak peek of what you too can experience. Oh yeah, that means it's working. It's working. So now let me show you what I did. Hi everybody, this is Katie Welch from Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Sonoma County. We're going to do the DIY STEM Unit 1 Energy and Electricity Art Bot activity. I'll show you first the supplies. Here's our activity sheet that everybody has in their bins. I've got a variety of supplies. Some of them came out of this beautiful blue bag. There are pipe cleaners, googly eyes, the DC motor with leads, battery holders, styrofoam balls, glue gun, and hot glue all came from that kit. The popsicle sticks and the scotch tape are in the kit. I had to gather a blue cup or a 16-ounce plastic cup. They asked for thin markers, so these are the Sharpies I had. At your club, you'll use washable thin markers. And I grabbed these out of my remote control, but everybody else can get their AA batteries from Audrey. She has a giant basket of them. So that's step one, get all your supplies together. Poster board, I didn't have any poster board at my house, so what I'm gonna do, I just grabbed a whole bunch of printer copy paper, and we'll see if it works. Hi everybody, so I've got my hot glue heated up. I had to plug it in, it just automatically heats up. There's no on or off switch. Here's my cartridge, I just shove it all the way in. And I wanted to show you something that I hope will save you some time that I just figured out. But while you've got that plugged in or beforehand, even probably beforehand, this, I do not like this. This is not my favorite. This is the battery pack holder. And it says basically just turn it, make sure it's in the off position, and then go ahead and just open it up and put batteries in it. And yet, I tried for 10 minutes to put batteries in it and I'm not smart. You actually have to unscrew this thing. Let me move that out of the way so you can see. You have to unscrew the screw to get it out, and it takes some time to do. So I finally got this one unscrewed. It took me like 10 minutes. I used like this little, just this Phillips head screwdriver to get it out. But that is something you'll probably want to do in advance because it's time consuming. It's this little tiny baby screw, and that will be frustrating if you try to do it in the middle of the program. You might definitely want to do that in advance. Hi. This is the motor. It has white and black cord attached to it. On the sheet it says there's a red and a black cord. That these both have red and black cords, but that is a lie. That is a lie. There's a black and white cord here. So it wants you to hot glue it to the cup. You can hot glue it if you would like to. I am going to need to collect these at the end, so you could tape it. If you hot glue it, that's fine, but then just try to get as much of it off as you can when you turn it back in. I will tape it since this is going out to a club, and I think they would appreciate that. So one thing I noticed is if you tape it, or if you put it right in the middle, then when this styrofoam ball and popsicle stick is going to get stuck onto this tip here. And if you tape it, or if you put it in the very middle, it gets stuck really easily because it hits the sides of the cup. So the way I did it and made it work is I put it like kind of hanging off to the corner. You can see, like, instead of putting it right there, I put it like kind of like that. So there's plenty of room for that little piece at the end to turn with stuff attached to it. So I put it like so. Let me pause it while I get the tape figured out. Okay, so now I just put the batteries in, and I'm trying to put this back in and realizing kids are not going to be able to put that little screw back in. So they can probably put the top back on like this, and then you could just put a strip of masking tape on it to secure it. I don't think we need another screw to hold it. I think it's going to be fine. It's actually holding up without the tape, so I guess that's your call. If they put it on pretty strongly, I think you're good. Okay, here's what I did. It gives you the directions give you a different breakdown of the steps than I did. So it's your call, but just so you know how all the pieces fit together, I'm just going to show you this at a glance. So I recommend, they said to use electrical tape to put the markers on. I think you can use any kind of tape, and I did not see electrical tape in the kit. So if you have masking tape, duct tape, any other kind of tape that, if you use it from the kit, just make sure you have enough for the other lessons as well. But whatever you've got lying around the club, if you hate your markers, you can hot glue it if you're trying to get rid of those dead markers. And then, so you just want the kids to use as many markers as, it says 3 per bot, but you can do 4, you can do 5. It's, I mean, probably minimum of 3. And you just want the cup to be able to stand up. So you can give them the supplies, tape, and markers. They could try to go ahead and just attach them in a way that makes the cup stand up. Then I also put this battery pack on. Again, it says to use electrical tape. I would not hot glue it because I would like these back later so that we can use them for other kits. So you can use electrical tape, masking tape, whatever, to put this battery pack on with the batteries inside. And then you just want to make sure it's in the off position for the next step. So you want to go ahead and click it to off. So you want this little switch not facing the cup when you tape it on, so that it's easy to access for your next step. So then you are going to take the motor. So let me grab the motor. Hi. This is the motor. It has white and black cord attached to it. On the sheet it says there's a red and a black cord, that these both have red and black cords, but that is a lie. That is a lie. There's a black and white cord here. So it wants you to hot glue it to the cup. You can hot glue it if you would like to. I am going to need to collect these at the end, so you could tape it. If you hot glue it, that's fine, but then just try to get as much of it off as you can when you turn it back in. I will tape it since this is going out to a club, and I think they would appreciate that. So one thing I noticed is if you tape it, or if you put it right in the middle, then when this styrofoam ball and popsicle stick is going to get stuck onto this tip here. And if you tape it, or if you put it in the very middle, it gets stuck really easily because it hits the sides of the cup. So the way I did it and made it work is I put it like kind of hanging off to the corner. You can see, like, instead of putting it right there, I put it like kind of like that. So there's plenty of room for that little piece at the end to turn with stuff attached to it. So I put it like so. Let me pause it while I get the tape figured out. For this step, the next part, you're going to put the styrofoam ball on the tip of the motor. The first time I did this, I put hot glue on the ball and then shoved it as far in as I could because I thought that would make it more secure. And what ended up happening was this thing was not able to turn because it was jammed with hot glue. So then I had to stop and scrape out the hot glue that was dry, and that sucked, and then put it on. So put a little dab of hot glue, and then you just want to put it in all the way, not all the way, sorry, just on the tip, so that you can still see some of the metal of see, it's not touching, there's a little something in between there. So it doesn't go all the way down to the base and jam it with hot glue. So do that. And then you're going to take a popsicle stick. You are going to put hot glue directly on the styrofoam ball. And you're going to put this, it's going to start turning like a fan. So just in the center, this is not a good visual. Let me show you the one I already hot glued a stick to, because that will be easier. Okay. So this already has a stick hot glued to it. You could do it that way too, just pre-hot glue them and hand them to kids, whatever's easier. And then have them stick it, you're gonna need to hot glue this again and stick it in, but not all the way touching, but with some space. So it looks like that. And this part's going to end up like turning with the motor, so. Trust me, it's gonna be great. Okay, so the next step is the wires. This part's all hooked up, it look beautiful. You've got the black and the white from the motor at the top, which is secure. And then here you've got the battery pack. You want to connect the black to the black and then the white to the red. In the activity sheet it says red to red. That's a lie. That's a complete lie. So you're going to take the two black. This is the easiest for me. I don't know if it'll, so you want basically these two raw ends to touch and be twisted together so they stay together. I think it's easier if you twist them together first, like so. Make sure the battery pack is off before you do this step. And then you just go ahead and twist the raw exposed wire together so they're touching. And then you'll do the same for this side. And then you have your complete circuit. And should be good to go. Should I test it? So that propulsion is causing the art block to move around. Once they've tested it, they can take the caps of the markers off when you're done, put it on a piece of poster board, put it on some butcher paper, and you're good to go. You can have the kids see if they can reverse the way it's turning by manipulating pieces. They included pipe cleaners and googly eyes for you to try to fancy up your robots and make them awesome. Whatever you want to do. But please don't send them home, because please take some videos so that you have it in your archives and you can show parents and all that stuff. But please, I want the battery packs, the batteries, and the motors back so we can do it again with other kids. Thank you so much. Bye.